I do, sir.
Mr. Are you desire counsel?
Yes, I'd like Mr. Littell to represent.
Under the German quota to the Consul General at Havana, Cuba.
I remember the Iceler case, which was brought to my attention after the subpoena which was issued to me in the Hotel Carlton here in Washington during one of my short stays here. And I read the file in the State Department, and that recalled my memory on the Iceler case.
So you do recall that Iceler case?
Yes, sir.
Could you tell the committee when the case was first brought to your attention?
I read the file in the State Department very carefully, and I did my best to read it several times. And it took several readings of the case to really refresh my memory fully, or as much as it could be refreshed, in view of the fact that I think, Mr. Chairman, I should make one statement at this time in that connection. At that time, we were not in war, but the responsibilities on the State Department had already tremendously grown because of the developing situation in Europe. That meant an extraordinary increase in the volume of the work of the department and in its responsibilities. And there were some of us, and particularly Mr. Wells and myself, who had a very great burden to carry. And it was necessary for us to have as much help as we could get at those times under the difficult conditions in the department, which had a very small staff. The matters in the visa division did not reach me unless letters were referred to me from persons in the United States which it was thought desirable should have my attention.
Johannes Hans Eisler, born at Leipzig, July 6, 1898, son of Rudolf Eisler and Marie Ida Eisler, or Fischer. Mr.
From Miss Dorothy Thompson, because there's no record in my personal files or in the department of a letter from Miss Thompson. In this connection, I should state that Miss Thompson had been a frequent visitor to Europe from 1930 on in her connection as a columnist. And while I was stationed in Berlin and in Austria, Miss Thompson made a number of visits there, just as other columnists and correspondents did. And they secured from they naturally saw our chief submission and our consul officers to get background information. In this way, I knew Miss Thompson.
Do you have the question in mind?
Yes, I have the question in mind. And
Beyond Dorothy Thompson more than beyond Miss.
well, I want to explain why.
I didn't get to see that. Explain yourself out of this one. You're good.
What's that? Well, Mr. Chairman, I don't think that I need any explaining of myself. Because so far as I'm concerned, I knew I never had any contact with Mr. Eisler. For me, it was simply a case which had come across my desk and which required my attention. At that time, as I told you before, there was a strong feeling in this country that many of our officers, including officials of the department, were not giving adequate attention to some of these cases that were presented. As a matter of fact, some of our officers had to be removed and transferred because they had shown prejudice in the examination of visa cases. Any man who would not at that time have given the most serious consideration to every